Dallas, you're cooked. First of all, I'm coming at y'all for the first time in a very long time. But second of all, man, I am recording this video right after the Dallas Mavericks versus Memphis Grizzlies game. This is the 10 versus 8 seed game. Winner gets the actual 8 seed in the playoffs. And the results are in. The Dallas Mavericks are eliminated. The Dallas Mavericks are eliminated 120 to 106. The Memphis Grizzlies will move on to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Dallas Mavericks season is over. And I'm going to keep this video very straight to the point. Nico, we told you so. I don't know. It just cannot get more simpler than that. Nico Harrison, and if it's not Nico, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, whoever you are, I'm not good with names. We told y'all about this during the Luka trade. This right here and everything that's gone on with your season is proving everyone exactly right as to why trading Luka Doncic is arguably the dumbest move in NBA history, especially doing it at age 25 when the dude, even yesterday, just yesterday, is still making statements about how he wanted to retire as a Dallas Maverick. Getting a generational player at age 25, what he's already accomplished, and committed to your franchise is very, very rare. When you get one of those, you build around them as long as you can, especially the year after he just got y'all to the finals, right? It'd be one thing if, you know, y'all made it to the finals in 24. It is now 2027. Y'all been a first-round exit for the last 3 years. All right, we got to reevaluate things. Y'all were just in the finals last year. And I understand a lot of these points have already been regurgitated by everyone. But listen, I haven't been on the channel in a minute. I'm getting it off now, okay? I am getting it off now. So, first of all, I just want to show y'all this funny picture of Nico Harrison. During the game with the score at 103-88. And I also want to show y'all a picture of the owner, because, boy, they look kerfuffled. They look confused. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Or maybe they do. Maybe they think they do. But I will still stand by the fact that the moves that they made are extremely stupid. So, let's examine why. And let's also talk about exactly why I want to talk about it right now. So, they built the premise off of this defense wins championship motto, especially after the Celtics dog-walked them last year. Apparently, a lot of this was caused by Jaylen Brown and how he clamped Luka Doncic in the NBA Finals, changing the course that the Dallas Mavericks want to go to. So defense wins championship, cool. You trade Luka for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is one of the best, defenders of all time. Period. Point blank. But even as the roster is constructed, I think they're gonna be. They would have been a great defense, but I take that back. I think they were gonna be a good defense. But to trade Luka Doncic for a defense where Kyrie Irving is your point guard and who would be your shooting guard, Klay Thompson? I don't know who he thinks Kyrie and Klay are defensively, but I want to shout out PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, AD, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford. Those guys are good. Those guys are good defensively. But at the end of the day, at the beginning of the night, you are going to need to rely on Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson offensively, especially more now with Anthony Davis in the fold. And I don't like they have to be on the court. So you have to take account their defensive prowesses, and they're just not that. You know what I'm saying? But even then, another part of why they did all these moves is this notion of trying to maximize a championship window. You know, there's the championship window right now. These championship windows don't go far too often. So instead of elongating and trying to build around Luka, let's go ahead and just maximize this 2 to 3 year window. Which, in theory, I actually agree with that. I think a counterexample of this is the Golden State Warriors, where they've been trying to do this 2 timeline bullshit of keeping Curry, or prior to this year, keeping Curry, keeping Draymond, keeping Clay, right? But then also having these young dudes that, have potential, but you're not maximizing their potential. You're not maximizing the current window, and you're just stuck in this middle zone, right? So in theory, I actually agree with what the Dallas Mavericks thought process was. But going back to the Golden State Warriors, that doesn't involve trading fucking Curry. Like, if you're trying to maximize the championship window, Curry is untouchable in that regard. And I think for the Dallas Mavericks, again, especially after the season Luka just had, and I understand he's had injuries this season, you do not trade Luka Doncic to maximize the next 2 to 3 year window. You do not. And the thing that bothers me is this mindset when the core two that you want to build around is Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. Mind you, Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, like 6 years too late. These are guys that are injury prone, right? These are guys who have a history of consistently being injured and not available. These two guys are your main guys. Your shooting guard is fucking 37 years old. Or however old Clay is. Maybe I just put a crazy number on him. Hold on, let me check. Let me check. Klay Thompson is 34. 37 is kind of 37 is crazy. 37 is crazy. But you're building around Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. Kyrie is 32. Anthony Davis is 31. If we look at the games played that Anthony Davis has had, yes, he played 76 and 24, which is fantastic. Played 51 this year, played 56 and 23, played 40, played 36, played 62. And even right now, as I was watching the game, he did not look healthy at all. I'm pretty sure the games that he's played for Dallas, he just doesn't look healthy. He just doesn't look healthy. So to me, this 51 ain't even like a real 51 for real, right? And then if we go to Kyrie Irving, very similar things. Very similar things, right? 50 games this year, 58 last year, 60 the year before that, 29, 54, 20. His last healthy season was all the way back in 2019, right? 2018, that was a very infamous season of him getting injured pretty late into the season, and then the Celtics had to go without him throughout the play. Like, Kyrie Irving is a player who has history being injured. So my problem is you're trying to maximize the next 2 to 3 years. You traded away a cornerstone of a franchise for possibly the next decade to maximize the next 2 to 3 years around Kyrie and AD? What are we doing? And the reason why I'm saying this now is, number one, they just got eliminated. But two, because of the fact that they got eliminated, bro, this is another year off the books. That 2 to 3 year window now is 1 or 2, right? Because this was supposed to be a season that counted. But you end the season 39 and 43 as a 10 seed. You end the season as a playing team and couldn't even make it to the actual dance. And now here we are going into the off season, and you're forced to just run it back. You're forced to just run it back. You know what I'm saying? And we will see how this plays out. Another talking point that I also want to talk about is this concept of, if you win a ring, does that justify trading a Luka Doncic? Because I would argue that it doesn't necessarily justify trading Luka Doncic even if you win a ring. Because that doesn't necessarily mean that your franchise is being properly ran, in my opinion. I think the reason why is because their chances of winning a championship are exactly the same, in my opinion, if they just properly tried to build around Luka and this Kyrie AD thing that they got going on. That's for one. And then on top of that, building around Luka extends your championship window, or just gives you a cornerstone to build around for the next 8-10 years. You know, like that's the type of talent Luka is. Even if the next 2 to 3 year windows fail, you might drop off for 1 or 2 years, but as long as he's loyal, you got a dog that's willing to stay in Dallas. You got one of them ones. You got one of them ones. So what I'm saying is you don't, just because, even hypothetically, if they win a championship in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't think that fully justifies trading Luka. I don't. We have seen franchises in recent history that even though they won a championship, this does not mean that they were actually ran well. The Denver Nuggets are a perfect example of that. Won a championship 2 years ago, and 2 years later, the franchise is falling apart. Michael Malone is fired. They got rid of KCP. They got rid of Bruce Brown. They got rid of this, that, and the third. And now it looks like damn near in just a season, Nikola Jokic era might be up in the air in Denver. I think the Golden State Warriors are another example. Now, they've turned things around with the Jimmy Butler shit, but prior to this, let's keep it a stack, they were not well ran after they traded KD. They were not well ran after they traded KD. They were not well ran after 22. So this idea that, because you won a championship, you immediately made the right moves, I don't necessarily believe that. I don't necessarily believe that, because yes, you may have won one championship here, but if you missed out potentially on a chance to win 2, 3, 4, then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? But I get that that's definitely going to be a controversial take in the comment section, because even when we talked about the Warriors in the past, it was on some, man, all that, they should have traded for Bradley Beal shit. That shit is null and void just because they won a championship. I don't believe so. I think everyone just gave them the benefit of the doubt because they won a championship. So it was on some, hey, they clearly made the right moves. They know what they're doing. Let's just keep it pushing. But in hindsight, they still could have done some things. Not Bradley Beal, because Bradley Beal is a bad example right now. But they still could have done some things to maximize these last couple of years with Curry, and they just didn't. They just didn't. But nevertheless, again, Dallas, we told y'all so. And Luka, we'll see you in the playoffs where the big dogs are. With that being said, I'm going to catch y'all later, and I'm out of here. Peace.